Hey everybody, how's it going? So today I'd like to talk a little bit about the issues Apple's had with keyboards on their laptops over the past 3.5 years and how their decisions are seriously blowing up in their face. This is a level of arrogance that has not been matched by other companies I've seen in the industry, and to be honest, it's not even an arrogance that I think Apple of 5 years ago could match today. I'd like to explain. So, TLDR, 3.5, 4 years ago, they came out with the Touch Bar MacBook Pro and also the non-Touch Bar USB-C MacBook Pros. All the MacBook Pros that have had this USB-C port come with the butterfly keyboard, and this keyboard is awful. I noted it when I originally reviewed it, and I was vindicated years later when the failure rates for them were astronomical. How did I know this was going to be a serious problem? Well, I had a lot of customers coming into the store asking for keyboard replacements. Doesn't seem like much of an issue, right? A lot of people have keyboard replacements on every other machine. What was interesting about this machine is that none of them had liquid damage. Even when customers would say, I got no liquid in my computer, if we're talking about an old MacBook Pro like the A1150 or A1278 or A1286 or A1502, A1398, A1466, when we'd open it up and take the keyboard out, it was very clearly obvious that liquid got into the computer, regardless of what the customer is telling us. Whereas with these new machines, we'd open them up and they would look like they were in mint condition. No liquid, no ingress of any kind, all the liquid sensors were not tripped. And a lot of these sensors trip even just when you're in a humid room, much less when you spill something. And they were failing. So I realized at this point that these were going to have extremely high failure rates. And I did videos on it. Now, at the time, Apple did what Apple does, which is release that kind of gaslighting page on their website where they're saying, are you having a problem with your keyboard? Oh, what you need to do is you need to take some canned air and blow it out. Because if you remove the dirt from it, it'll be fine. The reason the keyboard is not working is not the keyboard's fault. It's the dirt. It's you. You're holding it wrong. I mean, you could hear Steve Jobs saying that right through the screen. It was so funny. And then a few months later, they got rid of that bullshit because it was bullshit, and they put up a warranty service program where they were going to replace these keyboards for their customers. Now, what was interesting about this program, in contrast to prior repair programs, they didn't appear to actually fix the problem. So let's say we're talking about the 2010 MacBook Pros. They had an issue where they would kernel panic, and the reason for the kernel panicking is that one of the 1.35 to 1.8 volt rails for the frame buffer and the video memory would go down. And that was because they were using a 330 microfarad capacitor on the output of the buck converter rather than something like two 220 microfarad caps in parallel like they were doing on newer models. Now what they did is they released a repair program. They said, mea culpa, we screwed up. And then in the new models, they fixed it, and they stopped selling models that had that issue. Whereas here, what blew my mind entirely, and I mentioned this in a prior video, is that they continue to sell the defective product. So here you can see keyboard service program for MacBook, MacBook Air, MacBook Pro. And eligible models includes the 2019 model right here. The 2019 MacBook Air is included. The 2019 13-inch MacBook Pro is included. The 2019 15-inch MacBook Pro is included. So just to be clear here, they have a recall program released, or an extended warranty program, for a device that has a design flaw, and it covers devices that are being sold right now. Not stuff that was being sold 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Stuff that's being purchased right now is being sold defective and is covered under this warranty replacement program. Now, some people said maybe Apple's just being nice. They're being a kind, benevolent corporation that decided that even if anybody has problems into the future, even though we fixed the problems of the design, this is a perfect design, lovely design, nothing wrong with it, we're just going to replace them for our customers for free because we're Apple, and we do that. We don't quote people $1,100 to $2,000 because of a single bent pin. We don't tell people that if they have a broken charge port, they need to just buy a new fucking phone. We don't do that. We're nice. We turned a new leaf this year. We're the new Apple. And no, that was not it. They're selling the keyboard, the machine with the exact same crappy-ass keyboard, even if they made some minor tweaks. That was before. And I imagine that for them, they could either retool everything from scratch or they could just hope to brush it under the rug by covering it under this program, which is what they did. Do you honestly, in your heart of hearts, believe that Apple as a company would cover items being sold under a warranty program if they didn't need to be covered, if the customer actually broke something on their own, if the product was genuinely well designed, that they would just No, that's not what they do. They were selling a defective product. The product still has a problem, and they are willing to continuously sell that product that has a problem to their customers, even though they're admitting, yeah, the keyboards in these things just don't work. They're so bad we need an extended warranty program. It's still on the shelf, baby. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? Like, that is a crazy level of arrogance for any company. I can't imagine doing that to my own customers. And now, many people were saying that, well, no, they were just doing it to be benevolent, and it doesn't seem like that's the case. So there was a class action lawsuit that they were trying to have dismissed, and it appears that it has not been dismissed because these keyboards still fail. So according to Reuters here, it says a federal judge on Monday rejected Apple Inc.'s bid to dismiss a proposed class action lawsuit by customers who said it knew and concealed how the Butterfly keyboards on its MacBook laptop computers were prone to failure. U.S. District Judge Edward Davila in San Jose, California, said Apple must face claims that its troubleshooting program did not provide an effective fix for MacBook design defects or fully compensate customers for their out-of-pocket expenses while seeking repairs. Customers claim that their MacBook, MacBook Pro, and MacBook Air laptop keyboards suffered from sticky keys, unresponsive keys, and keystrokes that failed to register when tiny amounts of dust or debris accumulated under or near keys. They also said Apple's service program was inadequate because the Cupertino, California-based company often provided replacement keyboards that had the same problems. The lawsuit covers purchasers of model year 2015 or later MacBook laptops and model 2016 or later MacBook Pro laptops. It seeks a variety of damages for violations of several states' consumer protection laws. Apple did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Benjamin Johns, a lawyer for the plaintiffs, said he was pleased with the decision and looked forward to pursuing the case. Last month, Apple introduced the MacBook Pro with a larger screen and a new Magic Keyboard, with the scissor mechanism more commonly found in the industry. The hinge butterfly mechanism resembles a butterfly's wings. Mac sales, including the various MacBook models, accounted for about 10% of Apple's $260.2 billion of net sales in its fiscal year ended September 28th. This case is response to MacBook keyboard litigation, U.S. District Court, Northern District of California, number 18-02813. So, let's just go over this timeline. Apple releases a product with a defective keyboard. And in that product that has a defective keyboard, not only does the keyboard just not work when you type on it after a certain amount of time, that's also the model that's known for the FlexGate issue, where if you open the screen past this, it stops working. So you created a $3,000 laptop in 2017 that you can't type on and you can't open. Then you told people if they were having problems with a defective product, they should consider spraying compressed air into it. Then after that, you released an extended warranty program that replaced those defective keyboards with other defective keyboards. You then continued to sell the machine, knowing that it had these defects, knowing that it was broken, would still have it on the shelf at your store for $3,000. And then when you finally fixed the problem in the next year's model so that it wouldn't fail, you had the audacity to call a working keyboard in 2019 Magic. What?